Okay guys, it's me, HalusaThe Tuffle, and today I decided to do a review. I never do reviews, you know this, and that's why I decided to do one, just to be completely random. So today I want to do a review on Dragon Ball Super 101. Let's get started. Okay, so when the episode starts, we have Goku, Hit, and Jiren all facing off like a Mexican showdown. Hit is facing off against Jiren, and then Goku pops out behind a rock and goes, "Hey, it's me, Goku!" And then, like, they're just standing there. Hit decides that he's going to back off, and Goku is then left with Jiren. Then suddenly, out of the smoke, Eggman pops out with his signature attack, Die, Sonic, die! Goku tanks the Justice Flash, as you would have expected, although it does send him flying out of the vicinity. Topo lands it to Jiren, and he says to him, "I've chosen 5 Pride Troopers to take care of these idiots. Let's reserve our energy and back off for now." Goku then busts out of a hole in the ground, even though it's made of ka-ching, ka-ching. I don't know how he manages to do it, but then he's, exceptionally strong now, I suppose. And he's faced with Kale and Caulifla, and Caulifla straight off the bat accuses him of challenging them or getting the jump on them because Kale's down. He's like, no, I just got blown away. And then they turn around, and the 5 chosen Justice, I was going to say Basil Brush for some reason, I don't know why. Justice? The Justice League! No, the Pride Troopers, the Power Rangers, are standing there, facing down, and they're like, "Hey, who are you?" Well, Goku says, "Hey, you're wearing the same clothes as Topo. Are you part of his gang or some rubbish like that?" And they're like, "Yes, we've come to stop you." You know, all heroic and stuff. Then, of course, the Power Rangers do their signature poses, and they're like, boom, bang, bing, colourful powder flying everywhere, or smoke, or whatever. Yeah. So you've got Kano from Mortal Kombat. Then you've got the pink lady whose name escapes me, so we'll just call her Medusa, because she kind of looks a bit like, scary like that. Then we've got the Pokemon, a guy that kind of looks like Ming the Merciless, apparently makes himself turn into stone. He can make himself any weight. And then, of course, the guy that kind of looks like who I want to call Frog Lips, but for all purposes, we'll just call him Dave. After that, they decide to challenge all 3 of the would-be Saiyans, and Goku says these guys could be dangerous, so stay back. Caulifla then, in Goku character, says, "Screw that, these look like fun opponents to fight, you're not having them all to yourself, you greedy bastard." And then he says, "But her," and Kale, obviously he's referred to Kale, and she goes, "Oh, I don't like him, mean man." And Caulifla then grabs her, turns her around and says, "I'm proud of my protege because she is strong." And then she says something about you've had rest and you've got more stamina now, and she's like, "Hi!" Well, yes, not hi, but you know what I mean. And then they get ready to fight, and then obviously following that is the next scene with Muten Roshi. Roshen? I don't know what I'm saying there. Moon Roshi, and he does his, and I can't remember what the Japanese name is, so that's why you need to watch someone like Geekdom 101 or Seth the Programmer or Expert Games or one of the other better reviewers for the actual title, maybe even Oppai Senpai. Yeah. But I can't remember what it's called. I just remember that it is I can't even remember what it's called in English, to be honest, so that's really bad. It's the move where he creates electricity and paralyzes his opponent. But while he does that move, he can't actually move himself. So Tien, quick off the ball, jumps out, does a combination version of, or a custom version of his Tri-Beam, and uses more force with it and more direct, more focused, and just blows this guy straight out of the ring. I don't even know what guy it is. I think it's the guy that looks a little bit like, his silhouette looks a little bit like Cell, and he's from Universe 3 or 4, the mechanical universe, and he's one of the cyborg type people. And they just blast him straight out of the ring. Then, going back, after this particular scene, you see Gohan and the rest of the Universe 7 fighters all standing there reminiscing, saying, "Oh yeah, you did well, blah 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 blah." All that stuff we could just skip straight past because it's a little bit boring. I know it's nice character building, but we already know the characters. We'll just skip to the really good, meaty stuff. And then we get straight back to Goku and the 2 other Saiyans versus the 5 Pride Troopers. And the 2 that decide to fight Goku just so happen to be Topper, which is the one that looks a little bit like Ming the Merciless, and Zoiki, the Pokemon. Yeah, and their combination fight is very interesting. One can make himself like stone and really, really heavy, as he would like. So he jumps on Goku's back, and he's like, I can increase my weight, and he increases his weight, and Goku sinks into the ground, basically. They're going straight through this ka-ching, 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 whatever it's called. And then, obviously, the Pokemon turns himself into a whirlwind and then fires himself straight at Goku's gut. I mean, you know, that is a low blow. That's where the, you know, the goods are. Not them kind of goods. I'm not trying to be rude. Caulifla is also fighting, let's call Dave, and swinging loads of punches. The guy's just dodging, jumping out of her way, and she's getting frustrated. She's like, stop dodging and fight me. And then he leaps up onto a rock and does kind of like a blue version of the Hell Zone grenade by Piccolo, which looks like it could be really, really effective. As Caulifla is running away from the Hell Zone grenade blue version, we don't see it because she's behind a bunch of rocks, but then like you hear this massive explosion and Caulifla scream in agony or pain, basically, and then you see Kale obviously being concerned for her sis and run out, and then Coco, the pink girl with the purple hair, does a dimensional bubble around Kale and stops her in her tracks, basically. The thing that I find most surprising, though, is that they're actually in a void that is separate from space and time, where space and time don't exist in this void. So how can this person create another dimension in a place where space and time doesn't exist? That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't have any theories behind that, and I don't have any way to explain it, because I'm not a physicist, I'm not Seth the programmer either, so, you know, I wouldn't be able to explain it, because it's something I don't fully understand myself. Casserole then has a slight chuckle to himself, watching the Pride Troopers attacking the three helpless Saiyans. Say helpless because at the time they're all worn out, and it doesn't look like the Pride Troopers have actually fought anyone yet, because it looks like they've all been like hanging back and waiting for people to get like knackered and thrown out so that they could just go in and whip people's asses without even having to lift a finger, really. And has a little chuckle to himself, thinking it's funny that there are 5 Pride Troopers taking on 3 enemies, which of course then you hear 17's voice say, "What's so funny?" and then him kick Casserole in the face, very satisfying, to a sliding halt, with which then you see a shot of 18 and 17. Boom! Can't wait. This is going to be epic. Casserole then makes revelation to the fact that he didn't sense the androids get out behind him and finds it very unbelievable. 18 then states it's 5 on 5, so there's no excuse for when they knock them out, which obviously pleases and amuses Casserole, who then has a slight evil grin on his face. Cuts to the adverts. When we come back, Casserole then turns his hands, his energy from his hands that is, into 2 sabers called Justice Saber, and then he lunges straight at the 2 androids with full force. Android 18, also makes note that, you know, creating weapons out of energy is very useful ability. And then they're dodging for their lives. Casserole is then swiping left, right, center, and all that, trying to catch both of them, but he ends up separating them 2, and then takes on 17 by himself. Casserole remarks, "You let the girl go," and then he turns his saber into a giant orb of exploding energy and a Justice Bomber, and throws it straight at 17. Obviously, you know, he has a smirk on his face afterwards, thinking that he's actually defeated this guy, and it then rolls out that 17 isn't hurt at all. He's protected by his green shield of justice. Also to note, at this particular point, it does do a close-up shot, a creepy shot, of the God of Destruction of Universe 11, you know, the clown guy, I don't know what you want to call him, Pennywise, and he says, which I thought was really creepy, but I don't think anyone's actually picked up on it, he says, "Casserole has conquered many planets before." Okay, open that word up. Conquer. Not defeat or saved. Conquered planets. Now, as far as I'm aware, heroic actions don't involve the word conquer. Conquering is what a villain or a tyrant would do when they want to take over a place. For example, that's exactly what Frieza used to do. He used to conquer planets so that he could own them. Or he'd get Saiyans to conquer planets so that they belonged to him. Or conquer civilizations so that he could take their resources. Saying that Casserole has conquered planets makes him sound more like a villain than he does a good guy, which also gave me a theory. what if, now this is I'm going to use this quote first because this is quite an interesting one. I've heard this before in movies and other things before, but I'm sure it's one of those Devil May Cry type things. You know, not Devil May Cry the game, but I mean, like, you know, Devil May Care, Devil May Cry, that sort of, you know, pun or limerick saying. That the biggest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. Okay, I think that's from Usual Suspects. But in this sense, what if the biggest trick that the God of Destruction of Universe 11 played was to convince villains that they were heroes? Think about that. That's a good point, I think, because what if Topo, Dispo, all these guys that think they're being heroic are actually villains without the knowledge that they're bad guys? And it also plays into the whole that God of Destruction is very creepy and sometimes seems like he's got a hidden agenda, but it could just be a translation error, and it might just be that the word conquer was used instead of the word defeated or liberated or something like that. Who knows? But with what we have with the word conquer, that's my view on that. Anyway, going back to the episode, with Goku slowly sinking into the ground with the big heavy guy Tupper on his back and the Pokemon in front of him sniggering, suddenly 18 appears and fires loads of Ki blasts at the at Tupper and says that it's a little unfair 2-on-1. I'm pretty sure she says something like that. And in which case he jumps off of Goku's back and joins the Pokemon whose name I still can't pronounce or even remember how it's spelled or anything. I just remember it begins with Z and it's got an O and an I in it. But anyway, here's that guy, the little Poke dude. They create a combination move where he turns into a whirlwind, sucks up the rock guy who turns into like a yo-yo shape, and then fires him out, lands on 18. 18 picks him up with ease and was like, this is goodbye, and then bowls him out towards the edge of the arena. He's like, oh shit, and tries to stop, but because he's still in the rock form and because he's still at like full like weight or maximum, well, not necessarily a maximum weight because I don't know how heavy a guy can get, but he seems like he's probably at a pretty decent weight if he's breaking through ka-ching. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but anyway, obviously when he stops, he's right on the edge of the arena. Then the floor breaks beneath him, falls straight out, eliminated. The Pokemon guy then reports to Casserole saying that Tupper has been knocked out, so then they both rejoin the other two Pride Troopers. They're attacking Kale and Caulifla and decide to make a plan. Kokote or Kokota creates a dimensional sphere or a dome over the arena where they're fighting, so that means that she created a dimension inside the void on the arena so that no one else can actually enter from the outside. Goku and 18 try to enter, but they can't actually break through the shield. And of course, inside that bubble as well is Kale, who's inside another bubble, so that means she's in two different dimensions, I suppose. I don't really understand that. And they just start like attacking Caulifla. Caulifla. And Caulifla says, she sort of turns to Kale and she says, don't worry, I will protect you. That starts Kale off. She starts crying. The same thing starts again with the whole rage, and she screams and all that, and the power builds up, and then suddenly she bursts out of the bubble. Pop! She bursts out, and she's a Super Saiyan. Not Super Saiyan Berserk or Rage or anything like that. She's a Super Saiyan. Although she's got that sort of green tint in her hair, so it's kind of like the Broly SSJ 1 or 2. Oh, pardon me, 2. My voice just went there. I don't know why. That's because I've been drinking lots of Dr. Pepper. I've got loads of bubbles in my neck. Anyway, so she's in control, and Caulifla turns to Kale and she's like, you did it, you've controlled it. The Pride Troopers then decide to take this opportunity to attack them in full force, so they all join together to make the Justice Stream by firing their beams all at once in the same position, and they do that stupid pose all like, you know, Power Ranger style, and then they're like boom, and they're all firing different colours, so it's like nice and rainbow before it all joins together and becomes like an orange beam that fires straight at Kale and Caulifla. And Caulifla quickly goes SSJ2, I think, and fires, or SSJ1, and fires back. Kale fires back, and as they're pushing back with the beam struggle, because they need more power, Kale then powers up to the Berserk form, but she's in total control of it as well, so it's quite impressive. Her pupils disappear and all the rest of it, and they push at full force, and they knock 3 of the why do I keep saying Justice League? The fucking Pride Troopers, God's sakes. You push the Pride Troopers off the edge. At the end of it, you see that Kokota is still protected because she created a sphere around herself to protect herself from the attack. And then I believe 18 picks her up and is like, yeah, I don't think so, and just chucks her off. And then that's 5 Pride Troopers all out in one. And the thing that strikes me as most surprising is that these guys are supposed to be like the elite of elite, and they get knocked out by like, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, Goku, yes. 18 and 17, most definitely. Kale and Caulifla, yeah, well, you know, they're quite tenacious and all the rest of it, and they're very, you know, they got a lot of potential, but they got wiped out so easily. It was like hardly a fight. I mean, and I'm gonna probably get some negative feedback on this one, but I felt like the fight that the Universe 9 fighters gave Vegeta and Goku, I know it was only 2 of them, actually put up more of a fight than the Pride Troopers. I am surprised. I expected so much more from Casserole, Tupper, I don't even know who Tupper is, Pokemon Man, Kokota and Dave, and they all let me down. But I mean, the result was good in the end because we really wanted them out. You know, we wanted them out because we need to have the Saiyans all together, creating more dramas, because it's a lot more interesting. And at the end of the episode, once they've all been knocked out, Kale and Caulifla, well, Kale is completely worn out, so she's almost fainted again, and Caulifla's like, you know, she wants to retreat basically, and Goku is, the way just allows it, because he's like, I want to fight you 2 again because you have a lot of potential and you unlocking your powers, and I know you could be very, very strong opponents, so you know, go for it, get some rest, see you later. Good episode, really enjoyed it actually. I probably enjoyed this episode more than 100, and 100 was epic. Anyway, I've rambled on so much, it's like nearly 17 minutes, so I'm going to have to chop this into tiny little pieces, because otherwise it's going to be way too long, and I don't want to jabber on for that long. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this review. It wasn't really a review, I just told you about what happened, and gave you some of my my 2 cents about, you know, the things that happened in it. But I hope you found it entertaining. And I probably won't do that many of these because I'm not too great at them. If you want to check out somebody that does really great reviews, check out Geekdom 101 and check out Seth the Programmer and check out Expert Games. They're all really good, and they've got a lot of knowledge. You know, it's what they do. I'm more of a musician, but I will always give these a go just for a laugh. And because I love you guys, I thought I would give you give you a little treat. Something different from the usual. Anyway guys, keep it real. Subarashii. Keep on rocking, and let's get ready to rumble, I was going to say, but that wouldn't be far from the truth, considering it's a Royal Rumble, or a Battle Royale, sorry, it used to be Royal Rumble back in the day when I used to watch WWE, when it was WWF. Anyway, I have spoken for way too long. Anyway guys, I'm going to create a tune tonight, I'm going to put that out as well, so I hope you guys stay tuned, and I'm going to update my Discord link, because apparently someone told me in my last video that is now expired, so stay tuned for that too. Anyway guys, take it easy and keep it real. Alright, I'm outie.